Who the fuck are you?
Me? I'm nobody.
Sure, Bob Odenkirk might seem mild-mannered, but his unexpected action hero role is already gearing up for round 2. Nobody surprised everyone by making a huge impact with its action-packed story when it hit theaters in early 2021. Despite its small budget, the film managed to make a big splash at the post-COVID box office. Featuring Bob Odenkirk from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and sharing a lot of creative vibes with the John Wick series, thanks to a script by John Wick's creator Derek Kolstad, Nobody was made for just $16 million, but raked in $57 million. It also got tons of praise for its tight plot and Odenkirk's performance, which made his seemingly ordinary character, Hutch Mansell, believable as someone who could be dramatically transformed by a single powerful wake-up call. It didn't take long after Nobody's release for Kolstad and the core cast to begin teasing unofficial hopes for a sequel. Now that we're 3 years removed from Hutch's first impressive smackdown, do we actually know if Nobody has any hope of ducking back into theaters for round 2? Yep, a sequel to Nobody is definitely on the way. As soon as the first film made its debut, plans for a follow-up were already in motion. By late 2021, co-producer Kelly McCormick confirmed that the studio had greenlit a second installment, with Derek Kolstad already working on the sequel script. The first Nobody was directed by Ilya Naishuller, known for his unique first-person approach in Hardcore Henry. For the sequel, Indonesian director Timo Tjahjanto, known for May the Devil Take You and the VHS series, is taking the helm. Both Bob Odenkirk and Connie Nielsen, who played Hutch's supportive wife Becca, will be returning to their roles. The Mansell family will be back in Nobody too, and filming for the sequel is set to start later this summer. Universal Pictures is aiming for an August 15, 2025 release date. It's not clear yet if co-stars RZA, who played Hutch's supportive brother Harry, or Christopher Lloyd, who played Hutch's tough dad David, will return to help out if more trouble arises. If you haven't checked out Nobody yet, head over to Peacock and give it a watch. You're in for a real action-packed treat. The first film has all the clever John Wick-like elements you'd expect, with a gripping story about a family man pushed to his breaking point, a ridiculously cool villain, and some seriously inventive action scenes. John Wick fans have even suggested a crossover between Odenkirk's character and Reeves' universe might be cool, though Kolstad hints that any crossover might just be a subtle Easter egg in future films. Whether Hutch ever crosses paths with his continental counterpart or not, the story of Nobody and its unexpected action hero isn't over. Mark your calendars for August 15, 2025, when Nobody 2 is set to hit theaters. I'm actually more excited about it than John Wick 5, because I think Nobody is a better movie than the John Wick movie. Reason? It's realism. First, Nobody realistically explains why Mansell didn't fight back during the home invasion. In both Nobody and John Wick, the main characters face a violent home invasion, with Mansell and Wick failing to protect their loved ones. While both characters are driven by guilt and grief, Nobody provides a more realistic explanation for Mansell's lack of action compared to the somewhat vague reasoning in John Wick. In Nobody, even when Mansell's son Blake is being attacked by one of the intruders and the other robber has her back turned, Odenkirk's character doesn't use the golf club he's holding to strike her. Instead, he sternly orders the robbers to leave, which they do. Blake ends up with a black eye and is angry at his father for not defending him. Initially, it's unclear why Mansell didn't fight back, given his skills and opportunity. Later, it's revealed that Mansell noticed the robber's gun wasn't loaded and recognized that the robbers were more afraid and desperate than dangerous. This realization made Mansell feel that it would be wrong to use his assassin skills on people who were not a severe threat. In contrast, John Wick presents a situation where Wick is attacked by a group of ruthless Russian gangsters who beat him, kill his dog, and steal his car. These intruders are clearly skilled and dangerous, yet it's never fully explained why Wick didn't fight back, even though he had the capability to do so. Despite being caught off guard in the middle of the night, the gangster's malicious intent was evident. Given the importance of the dog as Wick's last gift from his late wife, it's puzzling why he didn't use his skills to defend himself and his belongings. While Nobody offers a plausible explanation for Mansell's inaction, John Wick leaves a gap in explaining why Wick didn't retaliate. Another way Nobody stands out is in its realistic portrayal of suburban life. The film delves into Mansell's daily routine, highlighting his monotonous existence, going to work, forgetting to take out the trash, exercising, and interacting with his family. While the quick cuts and jarring editing initially suggest that his suburban life is dull and exhausting, it soon becomes clear how deeply he values his family and the life he's built, especially after the attack. Nobody also features tense and emotional moments between Mansell and his wife Becca. These scenes reveal the strains in their marriage, how his past as a killer affects their relationship, and their struggles with intimacy. This adds realistic depth to Mansell's character, making his drive to protect and avenge his family more believable and emotionally engaging. But John Wick doesn't spend much time exploring Wick's suburban life. We get only a brief montage of him and his wife Helen before her death and minimal time with his dog before it's taken from him. This lack of depth makes Wick's suburban life and the loss of his peaceful existence feel less impactful. Although Reeves's performance effectively conveys Wick's grief and love for his wife, the film doesn't fully develop his pre-tragedy life, making it harder for the audience to connect with his loss. Nobody benefits from its more detailed depiction of the ups and downs of suburban life, allowing viewers to empathize with Mansell's situation more easily. Another thing that I think most of you guys would have noticed is that Nobody provides a more realistic portrayal of what it's like for a retired killer to return to fighting after years away, compared to John Wick. When we first meet Mansell and Wick, both have been out of the game for years. However, Wick swiftly dispatches nearly every enemy he faces throughout the films. Even though he gets injured or briefly overpowered at times, his fighting is always smooth and calculated, and he almost always comes out on top. In the first major fight scene of John Wick, a group of Vigo's goons shows up to kill him. Despite being out of practice for years, Wick takes them all out with impressive efficiency, as if he's never stopped fighting. While the fight scenes in John Wick are visually stunning, it's somewhat unrealistic that Wick would be able to fight so effectively after such a long hiatus. On the other hand, the fight scenes in Nobody are grittier and more challenging. Mansell's battles are less polished and more difficult, reflecting his struggle to regain his fighting edge. Although he usually wins, he endures significant injuries and has a harder time in the process. In Nobody's first major fight sequence, Mansell takes on a group of men harassing a woman on a bus. Even though he eventually wins, he struggles to tap back into his skills and is injured or overpowered before he manages to defeat them. The struggle makes sense given his years of retirement, offering a more realistic depiction of a professional killer re-entering the fray compared to the John Wick films. Lastly, the criminal underworld in Nobody feels more believable than in the John Wick movies. In Nobody, Mansell faces a criminal underworld led by a ruthless Russian leader. Unlike John Wick, where the criminal world is portrayed as part of a much larger and more elaborate network, Nobody keeps things more grounded. The film doesn't suggest that Mansell's Russian crime syndicate is connected to a bigger global organization. In contrast, the John Wick series reveals that Viggo Tarasov's criminal organization is just a small piece of a vast assassin underworld. The sequels expand on this, introducing an international network with continental hotels in major cities and hinting that anyone could be secretly involved in the assassin world, from homeless individuals to street performers. While the expansive and interconnected criminal world of John Wick is intriguing and provides rich material for sequels and spin-offs, it requires a significant suspension of disbelief. The idea of a hidden global assassin network with thousands of members, including the secretive High Table, stretches believability. On the other hand, Nobody offers a more plausible depiction of a criminal organization, with its small-scale, seemingly isolated crime syndicate feeling more realistic and grounded in reality. Well, that's it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more updates. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss an update from us. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.